Hello everyone and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pinile and this video is launching on May 4th and I just could not resist doing a May the 4th be with you class because we all have life force and it is a super valuable thing to pay attention to. So let's have a class where we're celebrating our life force and we feel it flowing, or maybe we don't feel it flowing, but we restore some of that flow. So first of all, though, we're going to find ourselves in our seated position so we can bring ourselves more mindful for this, I was going to say this task, but it's not really a task, for this mission. Yes. All right. Just feeling yourself in that seated pose, anchoring down in there. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable. And then just finding that nice tall spine. Recognizing all that goes into just that gentle little uplifting movement of the spine. Yeah. And this will be quiet for a few moments while you take some time with yourself. And with these next few breath cycles, just bring your awareness to your sacrum, to your tailbone. And then as you inhale, imagine that breath is traveling up the back of your spine. And as you exhale, imagine it's traveling down the front of your spine. And so you can either kind of come through the throat or you can come up over the top of the head. Just feel whatever feels right to you. Let's take maybe 4 or so breath cycles. And then just check in with your body. What do you notice? Where would you put yourself on that life force continuum from having no energy to the best day you've ever had? And this is just for awareness. This is nothing more than just playing with awareness. All right, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So we're going to come on our backs and we'll work on a little bit of getting the innards, getting our digestive system woken up, which helps immensely with the life force. So let's just have our knees hovering gently over the chest. Just a little compression, letting the spine realign to the mat. All right, We're going to take our hands onto the tops of our knees and just move the knees back and forth. And you can take them wider, you can keep them together. And then you can start moving them around more. Maybe make little circles, big circles. Just hydrating that ball and socket and loosening up all the connective tissue. Yeah. Nice. And then let's extend our legs up towards the ceiling. So they don't have to necessarily be straight. If they can be straight, great. And we'll reach the arms up as well and just wiggle your fingers and toes. Your life force extends all the way out to your digits. Nice, and then squeeze and release fingers and toes. Yeah, and then let's make circles with the wrists and ankles. And reverse. And then you can just do a little organic movement for the knees and elbows. Maybe you can make circles, maybe you just look like a little bug on its back. Excellent. All right, feet back to the mat. So we're going to hug the right knee in. We're going to take that leg up towards the ceiling. So we're going to lift and lower that leg. This left leg can be bent or it can be extended, whatever you think is going to work best for your anatomy. What I want you to pay attention to, though, is that you have this engagement in the core, especially the lower belly, so that you have support as this leg lifts and lowers. All right, so you're going to take 5 rounds, and just a nice pace where you can pay attention to that whole movement. Extending the leg, really feeling that engagement and life all the way to the bottom of the foot. Yes. I'm afraid I'm not counting for you because I was talking. I think that's 5. And then when you're finished, release, hug that knee in, and we'll switch sides. So we'll hug the knee in first. Extend that leg. Really feel that open. So even if your leg can't go 90 degrees, wherever it can be extended, you're going to be your range. And then engage the belly again. Tuck that pelvis under, feel that support there, and then lift and lower. So 5 rounds. Again, don't use momentum. Like, don't whip that leg up and down. Really be present for that whole journey. Feel that life force flowing all the way to the bottom of the foot. Nice. And then whenever you're ready and done with your 5, hug that knee in. We'll hug both knees in again. This time, we're going to take a really nice, big bicycle crank. Yeah, really try and round that out. You're going to still need your belly support. Yeah, and then let's reverse that, pedal backwards. All right, let's hug those knees in a little bit tighter this time. So we'll just have our child's pose moment on our backs instead of facing down. So just reminding yourself what it feels like to be connected to your breath, to your body. a nice time to set an intention if you do that sort of thing. Beautiful. All right, let's take our hands behind our knees. We're going to roll up. So the idea is to really round your back so that there's no little flat, clumpy spots, and it might take a few rounds. Got crooked. Nice. All right, we're just going to flip this over. Come into all fours. Find your nice engaged core, spine, shoulders. And then we're just going to curl the toes under, find a down dog. And we're just going to take our time working our way into our down dog posture. Feel that life force flowing up the legs, feeling it flowing up the arms and the spine. Yes. Nice. And then we'll just walk our feet to our hands and do the same thing with our forward fold. Just working our way in. All right, let's walk ourselves up. Hands on the legs. Just take yourself all the way up to your standing position, and then we're just going to keep going. Imagine you're reaching out into space. That's how much life force you have. Nice, and then let's take that forward, all the way back down to the earth. Yes, and then let's step back that left leg. And all we're doing is working on a lunge here. We're just finding our leg position. We're finding the opening in the groin, the pelvis. Yes, finding a nice long spine. That's all we're doing. And then let's step that foot forward again. We're going to come up halfway, lengthen, really feel that life force charging up your spine. And then forward fold. Let's take that same energy and bring yourselves all the way up. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Back into a forward fold. Let's step back with the right leg. Find your lunge. If you don't feel energized in some place, what would be required? You know, what would it take to feel some life? Maybe that shoulder's too tight, or maybe your breath isn't flowing. Just bringing that awareness. And then let's step forward with that leg. Come into your forward fold. Let's take the hands to the hips this time. Lengthen the spine. Bring yourselves all the way up. Bring those arms back up. Maybe a little back bend this time. Take that forward. We're going to come back again with the left leg. First, get the legs settled. Knees tracking over the ankle. Ideally, heel over toes. Lengthening the leg. If you need to drop the knee, that's okay. And this time, though, we're going to take our hands to our knees. Power up that back leg. The weight distribution is even front to back. Neither leg is taking the whole weight of this. So keep your hands at your knees if you want to, or take your hands to your hips. Really grow that spine. If you're feeling great here and balanced and strong, you can reach your arms up, and maybe you can open that front body a little more, lift the gaze. But you don't have to. You can stay here, you can stay here. Wherever you feel the most alive. Yes. Beautiful. Bring yourselves back down. We're going to step that foot forward. We're going to come up halfway in our forward fold. And let's just fold back down. We'll step back with the right leg. Get that position alignment dialed in. Lengthen the spine. And you can stay here. That's valid. Come up to the knee if you're going to. Hands to the hips if that's where you're headed. Reach the arms up if that's where you want to go. Feel all that aliveness in your legs, in your spine, in your arms, in your gaze. Yes. Beautiful, everybody. Let's bring your hands back down. Let's step that foot forward. Forward fold. Just let your head hang. Imagine there's life radiating out of the crown of your head, reaching down to the earth. Beautiful. Walk yourselves up. All right. I feel good. If you need to do any shapes, movements to get yourself reset, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we're just going to take our feet about a leg length apart. Feet are parallel. So really sort of from the center of the ankle, that second toe is my little line. And then just feel that weight evenly distributed all across the bottom of the foot. So you're not pushing the weight on that inner side of the foot or the outer side. Yeah, good. All right, legs are nice and grounded. Oh, you might want to have a block or a dictionary or a box, whatever works for whatever you have available. So hands to the hips, set up this nice neutral spine. Legs are engaged, I'm lifting my kneecaps. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Yeah, now just bring that forward into a forward fold. Nice, and you can slide your hands down your legs. Dangle your head. Feel that looseness. Nice. All right, we're going to take the left hand on the block, essentially under the face. So remember, your block has different heights. Your hand is going to be under your face, and the thing that we're looking for is to be able to really lengthen that spine. And so if it's all curled over, you won't be able to have the same impact in the posture. So that's what you're gauging the height of your block on. Can I? Yeah, okay. So you maybe don't need a block. So my hand is pushing down into that block, enlivening my arm, opening up the shoulder. My left hand is coming to, my right hand is coming to my sacrum. And I'm gonna that's gonna remind me to lengthen the spine. And then I'm just gonna spiral over to the right. Seeing if you can get those shoulders in the same plane or in that direction. Yeah. All right, let's come on out. We're going to take the right hand underneath the face. We'll take the left hand to the sacrum, lengthen the spine, and then just spiral over to the right, or to the left, sorry. Wow, for some reason my little lefts and rights mirroring is not working today. Beautiful. All right, let's bring that back one more time. So left hand pushing down into the block. Yeah, bringing that shoulder into alignment. Right hand to the sacrum, lengthening the spine. Bringing that shoulder back. And then lift up that arm if you want to. You can keep it on the sacrum. You can wrap it around behind you. If you're lifting it, see if you can get it in that same line as the bottom arm. Yes. Beautiful. All right, bring your right hand down to the block. Left hand to the sacrum. Lengthen the spine. Spiral. Working on those shoulders. Let that shoulder blade lead the way. reach the right or the left arm up if you're going to. Seeing if you can get them in the same plane. Feel that life force radiating that whole length of your arms, spine, legs. Yes. Beautiful. One more fold here. Hands on the mat if they go there. Lowering the head if that works. All right, hands to the hips. Extend that spine. Ground those legs. Bring yourself all the way up. Nice. All right, so I don't know what that posture was I just did. I'm sure it was weird. Okay, so we're going to come into a goddess pose or a double horseman's pose, and just give yourself a time to adjust your feet. So depending on how deep you can go with this, your knees are going to track over the ankles. So if you can come way down, you're probably going to be able to have a wider stance. If you can't, you're going to have a narrower stance. Feet are about 45 degrees. Just find that, and then we'll check in with the pelvis, nice and neutral, tall spine, engaged. And then from here, as we bend the knees, this just comes straight down. Boop. And then from here, the knees can just sort of head to the wall behind. Yes. All right, arms out, shoulders away from the ears. We're just going to hug one arm across over on top of the other. And release. Switch sides. Beautiful. All right, come out. Wiggle, wiggle. So remind yourself what that feels like. We're going to re-engage the spine, reset up that whole system, and then bring it right back down. Yes. All right, reach the arms out again. This time we're going to take the left elbow underneath the right elbow. And then we either bring the backs of the hands together or wrap around and bring the palms together. Yes. So this is just going to find that center line. They're squeezing together. If you're feeling good here, you can start to lift the elbows. Maybe find a little back bend. If you're feeling good, you can lower a little bit down. Life force. Your whole being is alive right now. All right, bring the elbows back down. Come on out, release the arms. Shake, wiggle. Do whatever you need to do. Adjust, reset, all of it. Okay, so we're gonna take this back down because we have to do the other wind. Nice, reach the arms out. This time the right elbow's coming underneath the left. And then we bring the backs of the hands together or wrap further for the palms together. Yes. Maybe start lifting towards the ceiling. Maybe start lowering towards the mat. Definitely breathing. Yes, feel the life in your spine. Beautiful. Come on up, release. Wiggle, wiggle. Feet together. Nice. Okay, so we'll do one more standing pose. Let's take our right leg forward, our left leg back. So not quite as big of a stance as we did. We'll bring those left toes forward a little bit because the chest, and we're going to try and square out these hips. Yes. All right, so you've got a couple hand positions you can choose from. Hands on the hips, hands clasped, reaching down. Grab opposite elbows, or reversed prayer pose if that's in your bucket, your wheelhouse. Nice. So noticing what is going to facilitate a nice aligned spine, square hips. Assume that position. Nice. And so we're going to just lean this forward. As we come forward, this right hip is probably going to want to come forward and the left hip's going to want to come back. So just notice that and try and keep them squared. And reaching long. Doesn't matter how far. Just feeling that life force like leading that bend. If you have your hands clasped behind, you can start to lift them if you choose. Opening the shoulders. Yeah, one nice full breath, really feeling that life force. Beautiful. And then your hands or whatever your spine can bring yourselves back up. Release. Nice and tall. Beautiful. All right, we're going to switch our foot position. So now my left toes are facing forward. My right toes are coming forward quite a bit. My hips are going to square this way. Chest. Find your hand position. Really ground the legs. Grow the spine. Nice and neutral. Find your hand position, and then we're going to just bend. Just reach out and grow that spine. Square up the hips if they've been unsquaring. Yes, breathe. Life force, it's in there. Let it enliven and strengthen your posture. Yes. All right, bring yourselves back up, nice and tall. Release your arm position. Let's bring the feet back to neutral. We'll step those together. Okay, let's come down into a child's pose. Just remind yourself what it feels like to be connected with your breath, with your body again. Nice. We're going to come up to all fours. And then we're just going to step that left foot forward. So we're just finding a low lunge here. Keeping that knee over the ankle again. And then let's twist this. So take your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Take your left hand to your hip. Yes. And then let's just take some circles with this left hand. Just feel that whole wheel alive, enlivened. Moving air. Nice. One more. Beautiful. All right, hand back to the mat, knee back underneath the pelvis, push the hips back, lengthen the upper body. Back up, let's step that right foot forward. We're going to take our left hand under the shoulder, right hand to the hip first. Keep this right knee in lane with the hip. Mine wanted to start flaring out. And then let's just make some circles with that right arm. Feel that movement of air as you windmill the arm. Open the shoulder. Set your wings free. Yeah, nice. All right, come on back. This time we're going to bring the left knee forward to the left wrist, and the left shin is going to come forward. The right leg is going to reach back. The right heel is going to face the ceiling. Yes, check in with your hips, see if you can get them square. If you need some modifications, please feel free to take them. Lengthen your spine. And then if you have any ability to come forward, just find your pose. If you feel like, I don't feel life force flowing right now in my spine, then maybe you just went too far, or any body part really. Just return to a place where you can feel alive. Yes, beautiful. All right, walk yourselves back up. Just bring our knees back under the hips again. This time we'll slide the right knee forward, right shin forward. Just walk that left leg back. Square up your hips. And then find your forward fold from that nice long spine. Yes, get this to be a posture that feels alive. Get them all to feel that way, honestly. That's what we're looking for. All right, walk yourselves back up. Slide that in. Sit back on our heels. And just take a few cat and cows with your spine here, nice and easy. And then we'll come to seated with our legs out front. Just nice and easy. Coming right out of the hips, toes towards the ceiling. Let's take our hands beside us. Just make a nice tall spine here. I just like to imagine that I'm standing, so that sort of life force is flowing in my legs, and then my upper body the same way. Finding that alignment and that engagement. Yes. Nice. All right, so I'm going to take this left foot and bring it back behind me or beside me. So we're finding a hurdler stretch. If this is too intense, you can sit up a little bit higher. You can just bring the foot in if that would work better for you. It will be a different posture, but it's definitely a variation and a possibility. And then we're just going to raise our arms up and fold over this right leg. Finding your pose, your distance, your position. And just feeling that this leg is engaged, my spine is engaged, my breath is flowing. Beautiful. Inhale yourselves, come on up. Let's restore this leg to straight. We'll bring that other heel back beside us. Sit up nice and tall, face over that leg, forward fold. Yeah, feel that life flowing. Where can you find a little more? Inhale yourselves, come on up. Let's bring that leg forward. Let's cross the ankles. We're going to bring ourselves up. So let's just find all fours again, and then we're going to walk our hands forward. Finding a puppy pose, melting heart pose. So first, from the hips, which are over the knees, to the hands is a nice long line. And then if you feel good and you're ready, your arms can start to settle towards the mat. The chest can start to open. The heart can start to melt down. But don't have that opening come from the lower back. Try and keep that neutral so the opening really is from the shoulders, the chest. Nice. And then we'll just lift, come onto the bellies. Reach your arms out overhead. Reach your toes away. Yes, feel that length. Feel all that comes into play just to lengthen. So as you reach your toes back, feel the glutes align, the legs are engaged, the pelvis is alive. Same with the upper body. As you reach your arms forward, feel all that. And from here, we're going to lift up our right leg and our left arm. And then lower. Lift your left leg and right arm. Do 2 more rounds of that. So really lengthen, concentrate, lift. Maybe you get to go a little bit higher. One more round. Nice. Let's rest forehead on the hands. Wiggle out your hips. All right, let's take our arms into goalpost arms. We're going to rest on our right cheek. We're going to bring our left knee out and forward. So trying to reach it towards that elbow. And try and have the front of that pelvis open. Yeah, let's just take a few breaths here. Seeing if you can feel all those little different directions your life force is flowing, along which lines. Nice. All right, we're going to curl the right toes under. We're going to come up onto the elbows. Just quickly come into a low plank as we slide that knee over to the other side. So keep that leg engaged. You can stay here on your elbows, or if you'd like, you can come down on to your left cheek, or, so arms in cactus pose, or turn onto the right cheek. Nice. All right, lift, elbows come back under. Those toes are still curled under. And we're just going to shift back down to the belly. Back to goalpost arms, resting on your left cheek, bringing the right knee out and forward. Lift up, take the elbows under the shoulders, low plank, curl the left toes under. Lift, send that knee over to the left. So stay here on your elbows or come down onto your chest, resting on your right cheek or your left cheek. Beautiful. Come on back up, low plank. Curl the toes under. Bring your leg to meet the other. And let's just hold this for a few breath cycles. So nice and engaged. Nice, drop the knees. Just walk yourselves back. Lower the hips, tilt that pelvis so you really round that lower back. Nice. All right, let's come on to our backs. Trying to find a non-noisy part of my floor. All right, reach your arms overhead. Reach your toes away. And then let's bring the knees in. And let's bring the nose up to the knees and really contract that front body. Yes. Okay, so now feeling all that core, we're going to, on our next inhalation, we're going to expand all of that, arms, legs, spine. Nice. And on your next exhalation, bring all that back. Kind of start with that center engagement as you draw everything back in. Exhale. Inhale, expand, reach, grow. Exhale, contract. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Lower your upper body, lower your legs. Let's bring the legs straight again. Legs are together, the toes are pointed. You're going to reach the arms over the head, palms facing palms first. So tuck that tailbone under a little bit. Nice. All right, let's bring the arms. We're going to start bringing them around to the side like we're making snow angels, palms facing the ceiling. And as we get to about shoulder height, we're going to start engaging those shoulder blades on the back as we bring the arms in towards the body. Now start tucking that tailbone under more. We're going to lift the upper body. We're going to lift the legs. Yes. And then lower all that slowly back down. We're just going to rewind that. Arms back over the head. This time you can flex your ankles. Return the palms facing palms. Feel the belly lengthen here. Yes. All right, let's reverse. So arms coming out, toes are pointing, pelvis is tilted, shoulder blades are setting. We're going to lift the upper body, lift the legs, squeeze the legs together. Tuck that tailbone under. Yes, beautiful, you're doing it. And gently, slowly lower. Bring your arms back overhead, flex the ankles, lengthen the belly. One more round. Arms coming by your sides. Pelvis is tilted, legs squeezing together, chin to chest. Yes, lower. Bring that all up overhead. Flex the ankles. A few breath cycles here. Imagine you're standing, really feeling that life force all the way up the legs, all the way up the spine, all the way up the arms, reaching out past the fingertips. Nice. Bring your arms up overhead and down by your sides. Bend the knees. Let's tuck the shoulder blades under. Just take one or two bridge poses. Let's just really ground the feet. Ground the hands and the shoulder blades and just lift the spine. See if you can feel your knees move away from the collarbones moving away from the knees as you lengthen the front body. Feeling that life force here as well. Enlivening that pose, and then just set that back down. And you can tilt your pelvis forward and back. Yes. Find that neutral. Let's just lift one more time. Tuck the shoulder blades under. Ground the palms, ground the feet, lift. Just imagine I'm pushing up with my fist right underneath your sacrum, and then the other fist is lifting your heart. Yes. Beautiful, and lower. Nice. And now just take yourself in any posture that would feel good to your body right now before you make your way into your Shavasana. Just move whatever needs moving, or opening, lengthening, whatever it is. And then you can start to work your way out of that and into your Shavasana. Whatever variation is going to be best for your body today. Just encouraging you to be warm. If you're chilly, find a blanket or some socks. And just finding that place where you can start to just let everything go. All of the action, activity, all of the thoughts. And we'll just stay quiet for a little while longer. And then with these next few breath cycles, just bring your awareness back to your sacrum, space of your spine. And we'll just find that breath cycle that the inhalation comes up the back of the spine, the exhalation comes down the front. Seeing if you can visualize that tracing your spine, either up over the head or just over the throat. And then with the next few breath cycles, imagine that it's traveling now up your whole back, tracing the outline of your back and up over the head and down the front, all the way down to your feet, coming to the bottoms of the feet and then up over the heel with your inhalation. Just take a few breath cycles with that whole body breath. And then maybe with your next couple rounds, you imagine that breath is following the outline of your body, but just a little bit further away. Nice. And these next few breath cycles are just imagining that whole shape that you've made with your breath is now just enlivening with each inhalation and exhalation. Kind of pulsing with life. Nice. And then you can just allow your breath to deepen. Let go of that visualization. Start to return some movement to your body. Yeah. And whenever you're ready, you can roll over to your right side. Take a breath cycle or two here. And then make your way up to your seated pose. Keeping your eyes closed if that's comfortable. And just checking in. What do you notice about your being, your body right now? What do you notice about your life force? There's no right or wrong answer here. Just checking in, raising awareness. Nice. And whenever you're ready, just take one more full breath cycle into that whole being. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Well, I hope that has left you feeling enlivened and that you feel the life force with you throughout your day. I'm so grateful that you came to practice with me today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. If you liked this, please consider subscribing. I wish you a wonderful day.